Well, Tuesday saw Federal Bank announce its Q3 FY22 numbers, and we try to break them down for you. Well, the net interest income number grew 4% sequentially, 7% on a year-on-year basis. Strong uptick there, up to 1,540 odd crore. When we look at the PPOP number, that too grew 5.6% sequentially, but a degrowth of around 4.5% on a year-on-year basis, down to that 914 crore mark. When we look at provisions, that came in sharply lower, almost 50% lower on a year-on-year basis, 25+% lower on a quarter-on-quarter basis to that 214 crore mark, and that saw gross and net NPAs fall well. So the gross NPAs fell around 18 bips when we look at it on a quarter-on-quarter basis. Net NPAs too fell 7 bips when we look at it on a quarter-on-quarter basis. The gross NPA number now coming in at 3.06%, net NPA is coming in at 1.05%. The lower provisions made for higher profits, of course, and the PAT number increased well. It was up around 13.26% when we look at it on a quarter-on-quarter basis, 29% growth when we look at it on a year-on-year basis. It's up at 520 crore odd when we look at it now. The NIM number also saw a good uptick, 7 basis point uptick in NIMs. That came in at around 3.27% when, of course, 7 bips is quarter-on-quarter. So broadly, that's how we look at it. When we look at the balance sheet side of things, of course, these numbers were already released in public domain. Advances grew around 12% on a year-on-year basis to that 1,43,000 crore mark. When we look at deposits, that too grew 8.5+% on a year-on-year basis to that 1,75,000 crore mark. CASA ratio improved marginally, up 2.2% when we look at it year-on-year, up 0.5% when we look at it on a quarter-on-quarter basis. Well, management commentary broadly was strong. They did see good recovery. They said that their target was going to be a more broad-based disbursement. They also spoke about corporate credit. They said there was some form of an uptick with regard to their corporate book, and that will augur well when we look at the larger scheme of things with regard to the economy. Also, they were quite keen on how fintech is going to play a role in their growth story. They said that in terms of tie-ups, Federal Bank has been the #1 bank in terms of tie-ups with fintech. So some of those comments will augur well for the bank. Good profitability coming through in Q3 versus, of course, Q2 and versus Q3 of FY21 as well. So good news for the market when it comes to how Federal Bank has performed. More tempered performance than some of the other peers like Axis and ICICI, but a good performance nonetheless from Federal Bank.